Have you ever felt like you keep repeating the same mistakes, the same fears and the same habits, the same thoughts, and deep inside a quiet voice whispers, something has to change before it's too late? Because the truth is, if you don't reprogram your mind will keep running the same old script again and again and again. But today, that pattern. Chapter 1, the moment where reprogramming begins. Take a deep breath, because what you are about to hear is where everything starts to change. In the last chapter, you discovered the invisible loop, thought to emotion, to action, to result. Most people try to change their actions, but by then, it is already too late. Why? Because by the time you act, the emotion has already taken control. And by the time the emotion rises, the thought has already fired. The real power moment, the only moment that matters, is the space between the thought and your reaction. It is very small, so small that most people miss it their entire life. But inside that tiny gap lies your freedom. Let's make this real. Imagine someone ignores your message. Immediately, a thought appears. They don't respect me. Then comes the emotion, hurt, anger, overthinking. Then comes the action. You withdraw. You react emotionally. You start doubting yourself. And slowly, your old loop completes again. But what if, in that exact moment, you paused, just for 2 seconds, and instead of believing the first thought, you questioned it? Maybe they are busy. Maybe it has nothing to do with me. Maybe I'm overreacting. Do you see what just happened? You didn't fight the emotion. You didn't force the action. You simply interrupted the loop at the source. This is where real mental reprogramming begins. Not by shouting affirmations, not by forcing motivation, but by becoming aware of your first automatic thought. Because awareness breaks autopilot. Let that sink in. Your mind has been running patterns for years. You will not change it in one day. But you can start catching the pattern, and once you start catching it, something powerful begins to happen. The loop starts weakening. The emotional reactions slow down. The old identity starts cracking. This is exactly why most people never change. They live, react, and repeat without ever becoming aware. But you are not doing that anymore. You are watching the pattern now, and in the next chapter, you will learn the most powerful tool to rewrite your mental code permanently. Because awareness opens the door, but repetition locks in the new identity. Chapter 2, the invisible loop that controls your life. Most people think their problem is lack of motivation, but that is not the real problem. The real problem is something much deeper, something almost invisible, the mental loop. Right now, inside your mind, a silent cycle is running. It looks like this: thought, emotion, action, result, and then back to the same thought again, over and over and over. Let's slow this down. First, you think something. Maybe, I'm not good enough. That thought creates a feeling: doubt, fear, hesitation. That feeling controls your action. You delay, you avoid, you play small. And then the result comes. You don't get the opportunity. You don't take the risk. You stay where you are. And what does your mind say? See, I told you, I'm not good enough. Loop complete. Again. Thought to emotion, to action, to result, to same thought. This is the prison most people never escape. Because the loop feels real, it feels logical, it feels true. But listen very carefully. Just because a thought feels true does not mean it is true. Many of your limiting beliefs are nothing more than old recordings, voices you heard repeatedly, moments that hurt you, failures that scared you. Your brain recorded them, and now it keeps replaying them like background music. Quiet, constant, and dangerous. Because whatever plays repeatedly eventually becomes your identity. That is why some people stay stuck for years. Not because they lack talent, not because they lack opportunity, but because their mental loop is running on autopilot. Now here's the powerful shift. You don't change your life by fighting the result. You change your life by interrupting the loop. And in the next chapter, you will learn the exact moment where real reprogramming begins. Miss that moment, and nothing changes. Catch that moment, and everything starts moving. Here's Chapter 3. Your mind is already programmed. Listen carefully. Right now, your life is not being controlled by your dreams. It is being controlled by your programming. Every reaction you give, every habit you repeat, every fear that stops you did not appear suddenly. It was installed. Installed by your past, by your environment, by the people around you, and most dangerously, by your own repeated thoughts. Think about it. Why do some people stay confident under pressure while others panic over small problems? Why do some people take action immediately while others keep waiting for the right time? It is not luck, it is programming. Your brain is like a powerful operating system. Whatever is repeated becomes automatic. Whatever is emotional becomes permanent. And whatever is practiced becomes your personality. Let that sink in. You are not stuck because you are weak. You are stuck because your mind has been trained to keep you where you are. But here is the good news. If your mind was programmed once, it can be reprogrammed again. And that is exactly what most people never learn. They try to change their life without changing their mental code. They try motivation, they try discipline, they try forcing themselves, but they never touch the root. And the root is the script running inside your mind. Pause for a second. Ask yourself honestly, what thoughts are playing on repeat inside my head every single day? Because whatever you repeat internally, you eventually live externally. And if you don't take control soon, your old programming will quietly decide your future. But don't worry. In the next chapter, you will discover the hidden loop that is keeping most people stuck for years. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Chapter 4. Repetition, the code that rewrites your mind. Now you understand something most people never do. Awareness breaks the loop, but awareness alone is not enough, because your old programming was not built in one day. It was built through repetition, the same thoughts, again and again, the same emotional reactions, again and again, the same behaviors, again and again. Your brain learned through patterns, and it only changes through patterns. This is where most people fail. They become aware for one day, motivated for one night, and then they stop. But your brain does not change because of intensity. It changes because of consistency. Let that sink in. Small repetitions, done daily, quietly rewire your identity. Think about how a song gets stuck in your head. You don't try to memorize it. You just hear it repeatedly. And one day, you know every word. Your mind works the same way. Whatever you feed it repeatedly, it starts accepting as truth. So if you have been repeating, "I'm unlucky," "I can't do this," "Nothing works for me," then your brain simply followed orders. Not because it hates you, but because it listens to what you repeat most. Now the power shifts to you. From today, you must consciously choose your new mental inputs. Not randomly, not emotionally, but deliberately. Here is the simple reprogramming method. Step 1, catch the old thought. You learned this in Chapter 3. Step 2, replace it immediately. If the mind says, "I will fail," you calmly install, "I am learning and improving." If the mind says, "I am not confident," you install, "I am becoming stronger every day." Not loudly, not forcefully, calmly, repeatedly, patiently. Because remember, your brain believes what it hears the most. At first, and it will feel fake. Your old programming will resist. You may even hear a voice saying, "This is not true." Good, that means the old code is being challenged. Stay consistent, because after enough repetition, something quiet but powerful happens. The new thought stops feeling forced. The new emotion starts feeling natural. The new actions start happening automatically. And one day, you realize something shocking. You are no longer reacting the way you used to. Your loop has started changing. But there is one final piece. The piece that decides whether this change becomes permanent or fades away like every other attempt. And that is your environment.